Hey everyone, we are back continuing the conversation that we've been talking about, and that is getting out of, coming out of the spiritual closet. And where are you at with that? Are you still hiding in the closet spiritually, or are you full on out? Karen and I shared in our last recording that we did a little bit about our journey in being in the spiritual closet. And we're going to expand on that today. I'm Diane, it's my friend Karen, and we're talking today here at the Soul Light Collective all about our experiencing, as we are on our spiritual awakening, have been on our spiritual awakening, what it's like to be living with people who aren't, as well as, maybe friends and coworkers. And how do we navigate that? How do we step into our truth when it feels uncomfortable or isolating?
Yeah, Diane, I think you hit the nail right on the head when you were saying like navigating living with other people, right? Because
Mhm.
you're kind of still I don't want to use the word raw, but you're still a little protective, right? I know that I was feeling still very protective. And now I'm in a family situation or social situation or just being in the world and being more aware. Like my vibration is getting higher. I'm more in my body. I'm more connected with nature. And I have a new place of observation, like what's going on around me. How does this feel? This is so different. And so um how do I stay positive? How do I not allow myself as the empath to be feel like, oh, there's that judgment and they're not even speaking it and I can feel it, right? Um, I know that my steps forward were to step into classes. Like that felt comfortable to me, be around other people, make changing up my social circle a little bit to people who were similarly feeling and beginning to work, utilizing my spiritual gifts. I think that was my journey, opening my spiritual gifts. And what about the old, right? Now what? What do I do about my family? What do I do about heavy Catholic, right? Am I going to express to certain people mediumship in events that came up, and I was being shown to do that, and it was like, oh, I don't know if I can, right? Like, how much can I be pushed? Um, there, I found that place of raising my vibration, um, not what's the word? Not triggering, not just difficult.
Yeah.
I didn't want to drink anymore, right? Like those are the things we've talked
Mhm.
about before. I wanted to change. I was eating differently. I was moving my body differently. My tool of choice was a camera, and I spent all my time out in nature photographing flowers, bumblebees, right? And then it was like,
You should see my camera roll.
right, and now I'm posting them online and I'm not saying anything about them, and now I'm learning, and I'm on a energy training, and I'm learning about my chakra systems, and now I'm posting red flowers and I'm posting yellow flowers, and do I dare type the words or just let the frequency of the picture come through? And like that was my now what, right? Like, what is she doing? Right? That was like, what is she doing? And then I did get beautiful feedback from people in my old community who are like, oh, your pictures are amazing and they're beautiful. And but my newer community was like, use your voice. Speak to what you felt when you took the picture. Like there's a reason I wouldn't post a picture of a flower if there wasn't a huge reason for me. I got kind of, so I'm out. I've opened the closet door and I'm out there stomping around a little bit, but I'm still feeling very protective. Where were you at this point with now you're running your, yeah, I'm going to let you talk.
Yeah. Gosh, where was I at this point? I was a massage therapist for years, and I learned Reiki in massage therapy school. It was required, and I had never heard of it. I didn't know. I was skeptical, but that really was the catalyst to opening spiritual doors for me. My clairsenses came online big time, and there were things happening that I was like, oh my gosh. Like I was always intrigued by, I want the word paranormal is coming to me, I had the Ouija board and I used to watch these paranormal
The ghost hunters, all
yeah,
those.
movies
Yeah.
and all that. But this was something different. This was, the unseen world to me, and prior to learning Reiki was sort of like, I had more of a kind of this dark mystery to it. But Reiki was just this opening of this wave coming into my life of peace and love and healing and experiencing a connection to God, to source, to universe, to something so much greater than I, ever felt a connection with before. And I was married at the time when I was going through this training, and I felt uncomfortable sharing a lot of what I was experiencing in dreams, uh and nobody else in my circle at the time, except the people that I was, going through the training with, had they didn't know what it was. They didn't understand it. And I don't think they were really that surprised that I was doing something like that, just because I had been taking yoga classes for a while. And so that was sort of um, the path. But expressing myself spiritually in my household never felt fully, you know, because nobody else was doing it. Nobody else was meditating in my house. Nobody else wanted to meditate. Nobody else was doing, laying hands on their bodies and listening to spiritual music and toning and talking about your energy centers. And they would look at me like I had two heads. And so I, yeah, it was almost like this deep sadness that I had within me, because I so wanted to express and teach, being a teacher, teach others about the power that we have within us. But people weren't interested. My circle was like, I'd be at even like a party or something, and their eyes would just glass over, or they changed the subject so quickly. And so, yeah, it started to feel like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Like, why is nobody else wanting to know how powerful they are, and that they're healers too, and that they can feel this energy that we are an energy body, and that we can learn how to raise our frequency. We can change our thoughts. We can get rid of pain in our body. And it felt very frustrating because, yeah, frustrating and isolating are the two words that are coming to me.
Yes, very frustrating.
Frustrating and isolating.
And let's not
Questioning myself, judging
right.
myself, like why can't you be comfortable sitting down and watching television like the rest of the family is? Why do you have to go run upstairs and read another spiritual book?
Right. Why can't
Learn
you be
another,
normal anymore? Right. There it is.
why can't you eat pizza with the rest of them? Why do you have to have these, food sensitivities? And why are you so sensitive to having household chemicals? And, here my husband sells chemicals for work. And I'm telling him, you can't bring that stuff in the house. I can't stand the smell of it, and it's not good for us. And my eyes are burning, and why isn't it affecting them like it affects me?
It I equate that a little bit to like astral traveling all night, being at learning schools, and then coming back and folding laundry in the morning, right? Like nothing,
yes,
like nobody knows. they know that I'm putting a note on the bedroom door at 1 PM. This is don't knock, right? Because I'm in there. I needed to have that quiet. That was the only way I could get it. So there was those little hints that started to get dropped, like,
Yeah.
what is mom's meditating? And I didn't care because it was like that was all I had. Like it was what was getting me through my day.
Yes.
And we had I just find that things will come up, right? And it kind of forces the family to come together and talk about it. One of the things that came up for us was our dog. I had been working with animals. That was my first forte into using my, I'm hearing, it's so funny, I'm hearing my spiritual prowess, whatever that means. Why? But my spiritual gifts. And I found that I had such a connection with our dog, our family dog. She's so beautiful. And she's gone now for almost 5 years now. And having done some animal communicating and helping people working with their dogs, I found that all of a sudden my dog was talking to me in my dream state, and her time was coming. And it was like everyone was looking to me, right, as the spiritual head of household. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And it was like every morning I would get up and like, no, she said not yet, and Nora and I would be having these conversations at night, and she'd be showing me certain things, and I would know in my heart, like, not yet, not yet. And then I remember one day, she's showing me it's time. She's traveling. She showed me where she was traveling to, and it was so beautiful. And I started to talk to the kids about that, and they're college age, high school, and they received it. They were like, we were all of heart and centered around the dog, and they received that well. And I was right. There's always that, like, told you I was right. Told you to listen to me. Um, and then she left, and she still comes around and supports me sometimes. And I share that with them. Like, I saw Nora was with me last night, and they don't look at me now like, oh, mom, like, what are you doing? And my husband very much like, how is that? What is that like? Kind of getting a little inquisitive about it, and then pulling back. And it was always about me, though. It was never really about them. It was me. Was I willing to express? Was I willing to talk about it? Was I willing to lead? Right? Was I willing to lead? And I struggled. And that's kind of like when you're out of the closet and now you're in it, like you're in it. And then I remember coming forward, and I was doing some I was working with clients at this point, doing energy work with clients, and came time for me to take my own space. Like, oh, and I can remember sitting in circle, and I would always say to my friends, none of this matters because I'm never telling anyone. And I'm never hanging, I used to say, never going to hang a shingle. Whereas everyone around me was getting ready to go out and hang a shingle. I'm never hanging a shingle. It's fine. And I have this beautiful picture of myself next to my shingle as I opened up my office and just had that beautiful knowing that my kids would want to come to the office and see, they touch all my stuff. Oh, mom got a new this or that, and sometimes reluctantly get on the table. But like there's that shift. Like you come out of, I'm locked in, I don't want anyone to know, and now you're out. And how am I going to navigate? How am I going to manage this? Like, how am I going to survive by never watching the news again, right? And everybody's got the news blasting, especially during that time of 2021. The news was always on. And getting to the point where now I'm out working, right? I have a business card. There's my name. I have a business card. I have an address. I have pictures. I have social media supporting me. And still hiding, still wanting to hide, right? And worse, I didn't even name my business. I was using my full name. Like it was like myname.com.
Hey,
I'm
I
like,
still have myname.com.
what are you doing? What are you doing? And then I was just like, okay, I survived that, and now I've named my business. Right now, it's like Ascend with Karen. Like, what are we doing?
Stepping into that.
And
Beautiful.
and I'm okay. Like I'm okay. In fact, I'm so, like my heart is so expanded. I'm seen for who I am. I step out in my power. I I I'm able to observe the world from such a different place now. Like it's beautiful, and I can see I can see my own faults at such a higher clarity. And
Mhm.
then I can see myself out in the world showing others like instant forgiveness and instant
Yeah.
non-judgment, having gone through all this work. But I think that coming out of the closet, it's probably the, I mean, anybody who was able to do it not the way I did it, like God bless them. Because, and I had beautiful people around me doing it. And I go back to, I remember crying about, what if I post this picture? And what I had somebody say to me, what if you just put some beautiful words on the picture and posted it? It's like, I couldn't, like, people would know because I had changed my life so significantly. And that was the now what, right?
Mhm.
Like, and now I'm sitting over here with now what's the whole potential forward from here?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is a big question. Where do we go from here? But I just, as you were talking and sharing so beautifully, I had a memory come to mind when I did come out of the spiritual closet with my family. And that was, we were sitting at the dinner table one night. My girls were in high school. And there, I knew that there was a being in my house that was trying to get my attention. And it was leaving claw marks. I know this may sound scary to some of you, and I wasn't in fear. I just knew that there was this there's a dark energy in my house, and I know how it got in. At the time, my girls were, not in the best place. Uh one was experimenting with a Ouija board and kind of inviting darker energies in. And I remember getting out of the shower and it had these like claw marks down my shoulder. I never like felt anything clawing at me, but I remember looking in the mirror going, oh my gosh, what in the world? And it happened. At first I was like, oh, must have been me. But then it happened maybe two other times I noticed it. And I just sort of shrugged it off until we were at the dinner table. We were sitting around, and my older daughter said, there's something going on in this house. And I hadn't said anything to them about the marks that I had noticed on my shoulder. And she said, I was in the bathroom downstairs and I heard tapping at the door and nobody was home. And it was like someone was knocking on the bathroom door. And she said, and then when I was in the shower later, I came out and I had these claw marks on my shoulder and my whole body just went, it was like this mother bear, like, okay, you can mess with me, but you're not messing with my kids. And then my younger daughter said something too about her lights flashing on and off in her room. So I just said, okay, we're addressing the, like, what did you call it? The spiritual matriarch of the house took over. And I said, okay, we're going to deal with this right now, right now. My husband was just like, oh my God, what is going on?
Yes.
And I think I had us like stand in a circle and hold hands. And I just like, I don't even know what I said, but I just was like so firm, like, okay, whoever you are, you need to just leave because we are, you're not welcome here. And you go into the light. Just go into the light. I called in the angels and archangel and Jesus and all of the ascended masters to escort any being or beings who were not of love and light in my house to go into the light. And that was it. The jaws were all dropped on all three of them. And then we sat down and finished dinner. Like it was
Nothing, right?
nothing.
Right. There's nothing like a good house cleansing that now
Right.
has you going to other people's houses and now you're at the call, like, oh,
I'm
we've come
the
clean
neighborhood
my
witch.
house, right? Exactly.
I
And
remember
that
when my another memory of when one of my daughters she was probably 3 or 4, and she's in the back seat in the car seat, and I'm turning around to back up or something, and she goes, "Mommy, are you a witch?"
Only
You
a
know,
good
said
witch.
any you know,
Yes,
negative
and that
anything, but that
there's
came
a
back to me later, like after doing some past life work, was,
yeah.
you know what?
I think there's a
You were
beautiful
onto
I think
something.
there's a beautiful opportunity for us to address healing the witch wound. I think there's
Oh,
yeah, we'll take that on. So here we are, we're out of the
God.
closet, right? And we're doing beautiful things and people are not afraid of us. And a lot of it
Maybe
really
some are, but
it was self-projection, it was self-judgment, self needing time to self-reflect. Um, and there's just growth, right? And what is the potential to coming out of the closet?
so much
Everything,
expansion. I just
everything.
hear the word everything. Like you know, do not be in fear. Use your power, use your voice, connect in, align with your center, with your source, with source, the source. You are source, but you know, when we connect in as creators to our creator, we are so incredibly powerful, and we're here to create. So what is it that you want to create?
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to be creating here with you, Karen, after all these years we used to create documents together and sell software. Now look at us.
Trade shows and all the good stuff.
Exactly.
Back in the
Exactly.
tech era, and now we're in the spiritual era, right? And there we have great changes coming in. The energies are changing. People are lightening up. People are healing. People are they're instead of like what do I want to say? Instead of seeking like online Google, like what am I? What's happening? It's more like people are ready.
I step into now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we
another
encourage
video.
you. Yeah, we encourage you all to just keep following your inner guidance, your inner knowing. And if you feel like you're struggling with connecting to, you know, being out of alignment with your soulful self, if you feel like you're not fully connecting with your, you know, your intuition or your clairsenses, hit us up. Let's work together. We're here to help. We're here to, or send us, you know, send us a question. We're here to answer and be of service, and just continuing to walk into the light together, and gathering it as a bigger expansion, a group expanding. Um, yeah.
Beautiful.
So thank you.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that we had this conversation. I think that, you know, there's that needing to share, right? Like getting into that detail. Like these were real things we went through and they weren't easy. And it's not easy to come on and talk about our personal stuff. But I think that if it can help the next person, amazing.
You're not
Beautiful.
alone. And uh, we're so glad you joined us. So
Thank you.
we'll see you in the next one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Thank you. Bye-bye.